One of Jesus' most intriguing miracles, the healing of the man born blind with mud and saliva. Was it simply a divine miracle, or is there something deeper? Get ready to unravel the mysteries behind this healing and discover how science might offer some surprising answers. The healing of the man born blind, narrated in the Gospel of John, presents a peculiar method. Jesus made mud with saliva and anointed the man's eyes. To understand the potential scientific basis, it's crucial to analyze the setting of the time. Congenital amaurosis, or blindness from birth, was a devastating and often incurable condition, not only in first-century Judea, but in many ancient societies. The causes varied, from congenital malformations of the eyeball to uterine or birth infections affecting vision. The lack of advanced medical knowledge meant that blindness was often associated with curses, family sins, or divine punishment, which added significant social stigma to those affected. However, ancient medicine, though rudimentary by today's standards, already explored the use of natural elements for therapeutic purposes. Cultures like the ancient Egyptians and Greeks already used saliva in rituals and treatments. They perceived, perhaps intuitively, its cleansing and even healing capabilities for wounds, applying it topically. Soil, in turn, had always been a source of minerals and, in certain cultures, of clays with healing properties used in poultices and compresses. The combination of these two elements, saliva and earth, seemingly simple, could have triggered a complex biological reaction. Even without the knowledge of biochemistry or microbiology at the time, this mixture could have had a real effect on eye health. For example, if the blindness was caused by a superficial infection or inflammation, the application of these elements could have alleviated the symptoms. The miracle, from this perspective, does not negate divine action, but frames it in a context where nature, created by Him, also offers tools for healing. It is the foundation, the bedrock where faith and biology meet, challenging us to see beyond the obvious and explore the interfaces between the divine and the natural. This chapter establishes the roots of our questioning, contextualizing the biblical scene within the practices and knowledge of the time, setting the stage for a deeper analysis of the components. Saliva, at first glance, seems like an ordinary fluid, but its composition is extraordinarily complex and fascinating. Far from being just water, it contains a vast array of enzymes, proteins, antibodies, electrolytes, and even stem cells. Each of these components plays a crucial role in maintaining oral health and, potentially, in healing processes in other parts of the body. Among its most notable properties are its antimicrobial action, thanks to substances like lysozymes, lactoferrins, and peroxidase, which act as a first line of defense against bacteria, viruses, and fungi. This means saliva not only cleanses, but also combats pathogens. Furthermore, saliva possesses a remarkable wound-healing capability due to the presence of growth factors and mucins that promote tissue regeneration and the formation of a protective clot. It's also important to mention the existence of natural analgesic substances, like opioarphin, which can relieve pain. Could this complex composition play a role in restoring vision? In cases of eye infections or chronic inflammations leading to partial or total blindness, the anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial properties of saliva could have aided in reducing the infection, alleviating pain, and recovering damaged tissues. While the idea of anointing the eyes with saliva might seem unusual to modern medicine, it was not entirely unfamiliar to some popular practices of the time, which attributed healing powers to bodily fluids within a context of empirical knowledge. Saliva, in this scenario, is like a portable biological first aid, a natural pharmacy the body carries with it, capable of intervening in healing and regeneration processes. This chapter concretely illustrates how an element as trivial as saliva can harbor a biochemical arsenal with therapeutic potential, connecting ancient wisdom to the discoveries of modern science. The second component of the miraculous mud is soil, or earth. For many, soil is synonymous with dirt, but for science, it is a dynamic universe of microorganisms, minerals, and organic compounds, a true miniature ecosystem. The composition of soil varies enormously depending on the geographical region, but many soils contain clays rich in minerals such as kaolin, marmorillonite, and bentonite. These clays have been known for centuries for their absorbent, anti-inflammatory, and detoxifying properties. In the traditional medicine of various cultures, clays were applied topically to treat inflammations, wounds, insect bites, and skin infections. In contact with skin or mucous membranes, clays can absorb toxins, impurities, and even bacteria, thanks to their lamellar structure and electrical charge. This allows them to act like a magnet for unwanted substances, reducing swelling and promoting cleansing. Furthermore, the presence of certain minerals, such as silica, calcium, magnesium, and iron, could have stimulated local circulation and cell regeneration, providing essential nutrients for healing. But it's not just the mineral composition that matters. Soil is a vast reservoir of microorganisms, including bacteria, fungi, and viruses, many of which are beneficial. The idea of exposing a wound or inflamed area to certain soil microorganisms might seem counterintuitive today, but some modern research explores the potential of soil bacteria, such as Mycobacterium vaccae, which can modulate the immune system and have anti-inflammatory effects. Applying a soil paste to the eyes could have had an astringent and purifying effect, removing impurities, purulent secretions, or even irritating particles that might have been contributing to the blind man's condition. It is the exploration of the laws and patterns governing the interaction between nature's elements and the human body that allows us to glimpse a scientific dimension to the seemingly miraculous. Understanding how soil components can operate at a fundamental level to promote health. What happens when saliva and soil combine? The mud formed by Jesus would not have been just a random mixture, but, potentially, a biological dressing with remarkable synergistic properties. Saliva, rich in enzymes, growth factors, and antimicrobial agents, when combined with the clays and minerals from the soil, could have created a unique therapeutic environment. The clays could have functioned as a vehicle to prolong the action of the substances in the saliva, releasing them gradually onto the ocular surface. This would allow for a more prolonged and effective exposure of the healing agents. Furthermore, the moisture from the saliva would have activated the colloidal properties of the clay, enhancing its ability to absorb impurities, toxins, and excess fluids. This process, known as adsorption, is fundamental to the action of many therapeutic clays. In the ocular context, this could mean the removal of purulent secretions, cellular debris, or even irritating particles that were compromising vision. A crucial aspect to consider is osmosis. If the mud had an ionic concentration different from ocular fluids, it could have induced a movement of water across cell membranes. In cases of swelling or fluid accumulation in ocular tissues, a hypertonic solution could have helped to draw excess fluid out, reducing pressure and inflammation. This is a common practice in modern treatments for glaucoma or ocular swelling. Although the application of this mud to the eyes is unusual for modern medicine, it may have created an environment conducive to healing, whether through the direct action of the components on the retina, cornea, or by reducing underlying inflammation and infections. This unique facet of the central theme leads us to question the complexity of biological and environmental interactions that we are still beginning to understand, showing how the combination of natural elements can have surprising and multifaceted effects on the human body. Despite the dizzying evolution of medicine, the fascination with therapies based on natural elements persists and, in many cases, has been validated by modern science. The story of the healing of the man born blind, though miraculous, resonates with principles that contemporary research continues to explore. The exploration of salivary enzymes is no longer limited to digestion. Scientists are investigating their use in medical diagnostics and even in therapies, given their ability to break down specific substances. The use of clays has also transcended folklore practices. They are widely used in cosmetics for their purifying and detoxifying properties, and in alternative medicine to treat skin problems, digestive issues, and inflammations. Bentonite and kaolin, for example, are common ingredients in facial masks and detox supplements. Furthermore, the search for new antibiotics in soil microorganisms is an extremely active and promising area of research, given the growing problem of bacterial resistance. Many of the antibiotics we use today were originally discovered in soil bacteria and fungi, such as penicillin. This connection between the past and the present is no mere coincidence. Recent discoveries about the human microbiome and the deep interconnectedness between our health, the environment, and the microorganisms around us reinforce the idea that nature, in its complexity, offers solutions that science is still discovering and refining. Bioremediation, for example, is an area where soil microorganisms are used to clean up polluted environments, demonstrating the power of natural biology. The story of the healing of the man born blind, in this light, is not just a tale of faith, but also a powerful reminder of the inherent healing potential in the simplest elements of nature. A potential that continues to influence and inspire contemporary medical research, connecting ancient knowledge with today's technological innovations. The attempt to unravel the science behind the healing of the man born blind leads us to a crucial and humbling point: the limit of our understanding. Science, with its rigorous tools and methods, can offer us plausible hypotheses for the action of saliva and soil, exploring the biological and mineral properties of each component. We can speculate on how the synergy of these elements could have fought infections, reduced inflammation, or promoted tissue healing. However, it cannot fully explain, nor reproduce, the how of an instantaneous and complete healing of a congenital condition that frequently involve deep and incurable structural or functional damage to the eyes. It is here that faith and science, though operating in distinct domains, can coexist and even complement each other in our search for meaning. Science allows us to admire the intricate complexity of the natural world, the wonders of biology, and the interconnectedness of all living beings. It invites us to curiosity, observation, and experimentation, continuously expanding our knowledge. Faith, in turn, transcends the purely explainable and empirically verifiable, recognizing that there are dimensions and phenomena that surpass our capacity for analysis and reproduction in the laboratory. The biblical account of the miracle, from the perspective of faith, points to a direct divine intervention, a power that operates beyond the natural laws we know. The central theme invites us to ponder what science has already revealed, what it may yet reveal with the advancement of research, and what, perhaps, will remain in the realm of mystery, a testament to the vastness of the universe and the existence of something that goes beyond our immediate perception and our ability to measure. The healing of the man born blind, in this light, becomes an invitation to reflect on intellectual humility and awe in the face of the inexplicable, reminding us that the universe still holds secrets that challenge our reason and that, perhaps, will never be fully understood. The story of the man born blind continues to fascinate us. Was the miraculous mud an ancient blend of folk wisdom and natural healing properties, or a testament to something that transcends science? This question leads us to reflect on the limits of our knowledge and the power of the inexplicable.